And I asked this on my community tab on my, I asked a poll there, and I thought, hey guys, let's ask the people, do people pre-order? And I think someone commented and said, oh, like maybe another poll you could run is asking about pre-order. And I was like, that's actually a good idea. And I was thinking about doing that. So I'm glad that we're on the same page. That said, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. So I asked the question on the community tab. Do you pre-order hot toys? About 8 hours ago, and we have 370 votes on that poll, right? That's a lot. And 76% of collectors said that yes, they still do pre-order hot toys. 24% said no. There were some interesting comments thrown in there. People saying like they do it mostly for ones that they'll regret missing out on when the release date is near, for absolute must-haves. Nope from Connor, buy on release maybe later. And so look, I think this really varies all over the map. But what you can see here, over 3/4 of collectors, over 75% of collectors still pre-order hot toys, which is interesting because maybe they're pre-ordering and canceling, or maybe that's, I don't know, because Sideshow's changing everything, right? But I think they were struggling for pre-orders for a while. I think Sideshow was like, man, we really need to pump up these pre-order numbers. We need to put out some timed exclusives. We need to create some FOMO and do some other stuff, right? So I think they've really been wanting the pre-order game to step back up to maybe where it was during COVID times. But I asked the question, is pre-ordering hot toys dumb? Because we don't know what's going on right now. If you pre-ordered a hot toy last year or the year before, maybe at the time it wasn't, but it probably ended up being a poor decision, right? Because I did it. I pre-ordered some, and then I look back at it and I'm like, man, I could have got that figure for 30% off in a month, right? So the Sideshow was just discounting things left and right, and they still are for like that. I mean, you would have waited a long time for that Miles, right? But I'm asking the question, is it dumb? Because, there's a lot of options. You can buy things. One thing too, Kiko, and Dean, one thing that I've noticed from certain resellers like Toys Buying Agent, right? If you could pre-order the figure from Sideshow, right, and pay U.S. retail price, or you could go and buy it day one from Toys Buying Agent for basically Sideshow price, maybe less, and you could get it right then instead of having to wait forever, right? Of course, you run the risk. Hong Kong resellers not always as reliable as Sideshow is. However, you can get it a lot quicker, and that matters to a lot of collectors. Kiko, is pre-ordering hot toys dumb? Because a lot of collectors are doing it, but should they be doing it is the question.
There's two questions you need to ask, and I asked myself.
Yes.
If you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said, absolutely. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because you can get them anywhere. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you pre-order a hot toy, especially months and years out? Screw that. Now, I have something. There it is. You like that?
Is that the DHL?
Yep. Please contact DHL. You know why? Because my package has been stuck in customs for 3 weeks. I wouldn't have had that issue from Sideshow because it would come directly from them if I would have pre-ordered and had it sent. And isn't it ironic? Something that is currently sitting in damn customs right now is readily available on the Sideshow website right now. If I would have pre-ordered, I would have had it by now. But it is sitting in customs, and it may not even get to me. They may end up completely saying, you know what, it's illegal. Sorry, we're not releasing this. You're out. That's a possibility. So if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, yes, it's dumb. You ask me right now, hell no. Yes, absolutely. Pre-order, because who knows? I have pre-ordered Wanda 3 times and canceled her 3 times because I got tired. I got it day one when she was initial. Both of them, actually, the Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision. But the WandaVision, when I ordered immediately day one, the release date came, went. I was like, all right. I went ahead and canceled it because I get my deposit back. Okay, cool. Then I started saying, oh man, this is imminent, isn't it? When's it coming? Well, just in case, because Sideshow's been shipping it, I'm going to order it again. Did the same thing. And then it came and went. I'm just going to cancel it because it's coming soon. Now I'm wondering, because of this situation, should I go back and pre-order Wanda again? Because what if? Can you imagine, Will, if something happened and I did not get Wanda when it released? If Wanda got taken from me or something, they automatically, none of them are, you can't get it anymore. And I have to go to eBay or something. I'll get it one way or the other. But that's the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to deal with the risk of potentially not getting it? That's the one risk that you have to ask yourself. If you want to have one and you're US based or whatever it may be, or then yes, if you want to ensure that you will get one, pre-order it 100%. If you're looking for a deal and you want to potentially save some money, and it doesn't matter to you 100% if it's going to show up, and if you take it, if you get it, great, cool. If not, whatever, then take your chances. But for me right now, I'm literally asking myself, do I need to go back? Because remember, Will, when I sent you that screenshot of all those Sideshow orders, that I was like, all right, I'm changing,
Yep.
I'm pre-ordering everything now. And I've
Yep.
pre-ordered like 50 different things. Now I canceled like half of those, but now I might go back tomorrow and like pre-order all these other things, because the other one is like, if an opportunity comes up for like a wait list, it's like, I got the thing. It's like, hey, your exclusive Mighty Thor with the cracked helmet, your waitlist converted. Would you like to get that? I'm like, well, it's probably going to be delayed anyway. I'll get the deposit back. And I went ahead and pre-ordered it. So because I don't want a chance not getting that one. So that's I don't know if I even answered the question. Is pre-ordering Hot Toys dumb? Depends on the situation and depends on when you ask me. That's the only question. And right now,
Yeah.
I'm pissed because I don't have what I got. And I don't know if I'm going to get it. And that's upsetting me. If I would have pre-ordered, wouldn't have been a problem.
Right. Yeah. And that is frustrating. And again, these are some of the risks that I think we run from buying from Hong Kong resellers, Kiko, because you don't quite have that backing and that support that you do from Sideshow. And you don't have to go through customs for Sideshow, right? It's a US to US shipment. So it's not really that type of deal. And for the record, guys, let me just say, I don't think pre-ordering Hot Toys is dumb. I think it depends on the figure as to whether you should. But if it's a certain figure that you really, really want to get, and you just want to lock it in, and you just say you have your favorite comic shop, your LCS, your local comic shop that you just love, like Replay Toys, or maybe you love Alter Ego Comics or Comic Concepts or whatever, and you just love that shop and you've had great experiences, and you want to lock in that Cad Bane that you've always wanted, or that Darth Vader, then by all means, like, don't put yourself at risk of not getting the figure. Go get it, get that deposit down and do what you want to do. But for ones you're a little bit more unsure about, that's where I would wait, right? Unless it's like a tier 1, tier 2 type of character that you're like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I need this right as soon as possible. Most Hong Kong resellers, you can't even pre-order as much anymore, right? So like Tim said, you can't even pre-order day 1 anymore. So you have to just buy it day 1 when he posts it. So it's, it's a different conversation. But I would say, no, I don't think pre-ordering is dumb. And I think the collecting world is changing, which we will talk more about. But Dean, I want to bring you in on this one. Do you pre-order Hot Toys? Do you find it to be a smart decision?
It can be. I know for me, it again, what Kiko said, it definitely depends on the character. For someone like Bo-Katan, when that figure got put up for pre-order, I pre-ordered it immediately. I needed a Bo-Katan fucking 3 years ago, right? Like
Right.
ages ago. I've wanted a Bo-Katan since Clone Wars. So that was a figure I just knew I want it in the collection as soon as possible. So waiting for a 15% off sale, it's like, okay, the shipping, like I'll pay the fucking $15. Like I don't care for the very little discounts they give us sometimes from Sideshow. So I'll just pre-order it immediately. With the figure like the battle damage Vader, I really want that figure, but I already have a Vader that I absolutely love. So I don't really feel the need to pre-order that. If I miss it, it's whatever. If I get one, cool, awesome. So it's definitely like, is this a figure in your gut and your soul that belongs in your collection? Go ahead and pre-order it, secure it. It's like insurance. You may not get into a car accident for 10 years, but you're going to pay your insurance because in the one chance that you do, you want to be covered, right? So I don't have a problem with pre-ordering figures. The way I pre-order is I just put down the deposit and then I wait. Except for my Prime 1 statue, because
Right.
I had to make payments on that because I was like, I'm not gonna have fucking $2,000 when it's ready to ship, but I'll have a couple $100 for a figure. I don't want to keep giving Sideshow my money every month and have them have it in their bank instead of me. So I just do a deposit and let it ride, and then when the figure is ready to ship, I just pay it off. So that's the way I do it.
I think a lot
Yeah.
of people are afraid potentially if they're looking for the deal that if they pre-order, they're going to get. We've talked about this before. They're locked into that price, and they won't get it any cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's a question you have to raise: is 20, 30 bucks off worth it to you to potentially take that risk? And to me,
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. It has to be substantial. And that's the point I've gotten to too, Kiko. Like with Carnage, for example, I think I paid Tim Cent like $5.25 shipped for that deluxe Carnage shipped, right? And that was with PayPal doing their little conversion thing, which is a pain in the ass. I added like $20. I thought it was going to be $505. PayPal conversion is always a
I
pain in
get
the
punched
ass.
in the balls every time on that.
Yeah, it is a kick in the balls every time. Like, so that's the type of thing. Like, if I were to buy that figure from Sideshow, I'd actually pay more than that because it's $515 plus shipping and tax. It was like $50 more from Sideshow than it would be Tim Cent. So in that type of situation, yes, it benefited me not pre-ordering, but the model is changing. Like Doc Smizzle pointed out in the comments, the one thing I want to point out here is actually the less popular a figure is, if you want it, the more you should probably pre-order it, because that less popular figure is probably going to be a less volume produced figure. Like Mantis, for example, they're probably not going to make 8 million Mantises, right? So if you want a Mantis, you probably should pre-order it if you know you want it. Same goes with Riva or the Grand Inquisitor, right? Not super hot ticket pre-order items. So they're probably not going to make a ton of them. So if you really like that character, you probably should go pre-order it. But, you know, you can still get it after the fact as long as you're willing to pay a little bit more. You can find it probably. But if you want to lock it in, then by all means. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's dumb, but I do think people should be smart about it. I do think it's one of those where like I said, if it's a tier 1 character that you know you can't live without, you got to have in your collection, by all means, lock it in with your favorite retailer. But again, sometimes you got to be okay with the fact that not only are you not getting a discount, but you're going to have to wait. Right. So you're going to have to wait and you're going to have to be okay and be patient with that. Like if I pre-ordered it from Sideshow and, you know, they got it really late compared to everyone else, you know, overseas, and like, oh man, I could buy it from Tim Cent right now for $50 less than Sideshow. And you got the pre-order already, but you're going to eat an NRD. Then at that point, you got to be okay with waiting. So, you know, it's a process, right? It's an uncertain time, but if you love the character, I'd say by all means, do your thing. That's what I would say. So, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that. And thanks for voting in the poll. Maybe we'll talk more about it. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys, nonetheless.